Really big shock, really, really sad news. Sinead O'Connor, obviously iconic singer, and actually billed herself as a protest singer. She never wanted to be a pop star, even though, the early career, it kind of thought that might be where she was going. And actually, she said, no, I want to make statements. I want to protest against injustices in the world. And that's what she did. And she was known as much for her shaved head, her iconic music, as she was for those outspoken views on religion, politics, war. Very talented from a young age, born in Dublin. She actually went to a correctional school age 15 after bouts of shoplifting. And that's where a nun spotted her musical talent, gave her a guitar, encouraged her to take lessons. And it was after that she then spotted an advert in a music magazine in Dublin, and that eventually led to her being signed and having this incredible success in the early 90s when she released her second album. It was her second album that really spurred her massive success and took her onto this international stage. It was called I Do Not Want What I Haven't Got, and it sold more than 7 million copies. She won a Grammy for it, and it was obviously the iconic single Nothing Compares to You that was from that album. And it was actually named #1 single in the world at that point, but that success was something that she wasn't really fazed by. And actually, I would say that she was one of the first artists that we know of that was in a way cancelled internationally. When she performed on SNL Live, she ripped up a picture of John Paul II, the Pope at the time, in a protest against child sex abuse in the church.
But
and it
Ellie,
was after that then she was shunned from the world, but she was fearless.
You've sort of hit it on the head there when you said she was one of the first artists, because that was the thing. She was being squeezed into, she was a square peg in a round hole, in the fact that initially with the big breakthrough songs and whatever, that she's treated as a pop star, but she wasn't a pop star. She didn't want to be a pop star. She was an artist. She was a musician. She had a message to give.
Oh, absolutely. And those messages didn't stop because she was outspoken about so many things, like I said, and whether it was, child sex abuse, whether it was wars, whether it was injustices in the world, she was determined to do things about it. And she didn't just speak about them. She didn't just use her performance and her music to do that. She actually, had huge actions in when there was we saw on television Somali starving. She donated her West Hollywood home at the time. That was worth $750,000, which so much more then than today. And she donated that to an appeal for them. So she didn't just say things, she did things, and she spoke openly about her mental health. Obviously, she's previously admitted that she attempted suicide on multiple occasions. She opened up on Oprah Winfrey in 2007 that she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, which then she said later on that was misdiagnosed. But, she also spoke about complex post-traumatic stress disorder, borderline personality disorder, and always said she spoke about these things with such raw honesty, sometimes in a complicated way, but because she wanted to remove any kind of stigmas against that. So she used this fame that she got at a very, very young age to just highlight things in the world that weren't spoken about